everyone. Welcome to another edition of Boss in Business from Ace Entrepreneurs. So before we start, I want to tell you a little bit about what's happening with Ace Entrepreneurs. So we have got a crowd fund together. Me and my team are looking to raise £25,000 to donate to small, diverse businesses. That's currently live right now. So if you haven't seen that, when you're finished watching the video, or pause and do it right now, click on the link in the bio, go and have a look at the crowd fund, read the detail, and please donate. All donations are counting towards us reaching our goal. And what we're trying to do is to fund 10 small businesses to take them to the next level. And then hopefully we'll get them to a level where they're ready for fuller investment. So you can also apply if you're a small, diverse business. Please do go on there. When you've donated, you'll also see a link to how you can apply to win part of that £25,000. So it's really exciting. I want to get everyone involved in donating, sharing the link, commenting, liking. Don't forget to subscribe to Ace Entrepreneurs. And now our guest for today, that is Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Nadine. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm excited to join you.
I'm excited to have you. We conversate a lot on Instagram. I know we haven't formally had a chat outside of sort of texting and stuff. So I'm so excited to have you. I love your energy. And why don't you tell everyone about who you are and what you do? What's your business?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Melissa and I own Mell's Desserts. I specialize in desserts and dessert type cakes. I've been doing this now 2019. The idea was from 2018, but it came official December 2019. I developed, so in the stages of the idea stage, I developed anxiety and depression, and so it was put on the back burner until I was well enough to start my business. I did resign from my admin role. I was a drug and alcohol worker for 7 years.
Wow.
So I was there, and the position I was in was quite hard. I was working and raising a family, planning a wedding, birthday parties and things, trying to find school for my daughter. So there was lots of stress around that time when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. December 2019, I just put myself in the deep end, threw myself right in, and I never look back. It's the best thing I did, working for myself, being my own boss. It's just one of the best things I've done, and I can be so creative. I made up my own recipe for an almond cake and it came out really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's trial and error, but you know, these things happen. I'm always experimenting. I made some cinnamon buns last month, and in the whole pandemic I've had to stop baking.
Right.
So I've had to find other means to get like desserts. So again, experimenting, being in the kitchen, and I came up with a strawberry trifle. So I had to, obviously, because I couldn't get flour, I had to go for non-baked recipes.
Yeah.
And I made an Oreo cheese, a no-bake Oreo cheesecake. And it's just like little things like that, you know, just trying to experiment with what I could get, because obviously with the pandemic I couldn't get a lot of ingredients, and even now I'm still struggling to get like a few baking stuff. I can get flour, but not like, sometimes I can't get coconut sugar or other bits and pieces like almond essence, and the little things that make the big things important.
Yes.
Started, so in the pandemic, so about the beginning of March to about the end of May, June, I think I wasn't working, but I was experimenting, and I wanted to reach out to my neighbours. So I got baking when I could, and I did sample boxes for my neighbours, and that was also an empowerment thing for me, to get out there and meet the neighbours, because I've moved back to my mum and dad's house.
Okay.
And so it's like let me just introduce myself, let me put myself out there. And I met some amazing people on my road, and it's all right, you know, because we don't most of the time we don't know our neighbours.
Yeah.
But by going out and meeting, going door to door, I've actually made some nice friends. And apparently my strawberry trifle is the best trifle. But yeah, I've been going door to door, and I've been giving, my neighbours are so great. They've been giving me like donations, and
Wow.
I've got some customers from them. I think there's 2 ladies so far that have bought from me, and they want to come back to me and buy again and stuff. So yeah, it's been fun. And now I've created some t-shirts with motivational quotes. So things like and I want to get aprons. I haven't got any pictures of them yet, but they'll be posted on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and LinkedIn as soon as I do take my pictures. But yeah, I've been busy.
Amazing. Yeah. It's like a one-woman interview. I'm not even asking you anything. You're just answering all the questions. There's so many things to talk about from what you've just said. First of all, that journey is really interesting. It includes struggle, it includes resolution, it includes how you took yourself and took control of what was happening in your life and found something that made you not only happy but healthy, right? You get to meet people, you got to make money. It's like just a mini series in minutes. It's really exciting. Meeting the neighbours is good. It's weird where I'm not from London. When I came to London, the first thing I noticed was that people didn't speak to people that they lived next to. I just found it so weird. Why wouldn't you not want to know the person next to you? Here's a bit different now, because luckily where I live, there's 4 of us that live in a little line, so we all know each other. And I've got a little son, so he goes and sometimes he talks to, if he sees them, he talks to them and stuff. But it's so good.
Oh, that's really sweet.
It's cute. Sometimes he tries to go inside, and I'm like, no, you can't go inside. But your neighbours are your first customers. That's so cool. And when you give people good food, and they don't really have to, also they don't have to move for it. So you just just there. Of course they're coming back. Of course they are. And
there's a couple of the especially the pensioners, like the older ladies, and if they see me coming down the road, they say, "Oh, what have you got there, dear?" Because I always have my little cake box walking up and down with me. So they see me come and say, "Oh, what have you got there, dear?" And it's and I'll tell them I've made a Bakewell tart, the Bakewell cheesecakes. So I'm a big fan of a Bakewell tart, and I made the Bakewell cheesecake. And it's not my recipe, but I tweaked it. And they were so overjoyed with the with the cheesecake. It was like, when are you making it again? And so I'm not making it for now. But when I do I'm gonna make some more. I'll make something else. I'm gonna make the strawberry cake. They won't be telling me what to make. But it is nice to get out. And we used to have on our street. We used to have like the street party. We used to have street parties, and we used to have like the community gathering thing. It was a part of that, was my community. That's what I grew up here knowing. But there's lots of changes, lots of new neighbours, lots of different nationalities of neighbours as well now. So it's just for me to get out there and meet people, like to say who's next door to each other. Like, like as you said, you don't have that, and it was quite weird for me moving back to my mum and dad's, because it's like I used to know people, but I don't know anyone anymore. But yeah, at least I've had the opportunity to meet neighbours and to meet people.
And are these people you're meeting, are they your customers?
So some of them are potential customers that are like looking to buy in the future or in the next couple of months or whatever. But the ones, but a couple of them, they have purchased from me, and I'm making a cheesecake. I'm making a Bailey's cheesecake today for one of my neighbours. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hungry now. all this talk.
In my house.
Oh my days! But listen, every time your posts come up, I'm like, oh, you know, I like every single post that you do. I love the sound of the aprons. That's great.
Yes, so I
Actually,
want to do
yeah.
So I should have got one upstairs with me, but I'll post. I'm gonna start taking pictures so I can post.
Yeah.
So one of my T-shirts was oh, hang on, I've got all my quotes written down. That might be easier if I just read them out. If I can find them. Where are they? I've got so much things in my notepad.
It's great that you've got a notepad. People forget about having a pen and paper notepad.
My notepads are my saving grace. I love a notepad. I swear by it.
I've got like a little one. It's just a small one, and I keep it by I just take it around with me around that wherever I am in the house. I like take my notepad, and then when you think of something, you just quickly write it down.
Yeah.
I know you can use your phone, but it's like when it's written down, you can see it.
You can
when it's
see
your
it,
phone,
yeah.
You kind of forget.
I might have to look at my
about
phone.
it.
I can't see it in here now, can I? No.
I like the aprons because I'm almost thinking you could do like a nice box that has apron, maybe has like some ingredients to make a gift box type thing.
My motto is self-care, self-love, self-worth, and that's on my T-shirt because I'm always saying you have to. For me, I had to look after myself with anxiety and depression.
Yeah,
I had to have that conversation with myself. Mel, what's going on? What's making me so depressed? Why am I feeling this way? Yeah. And the other week, I was feeling so low, and it took me a good couple of days just to to get out of it. But I had to have that conversation. I had to tell myself, like, what's going on? Why have I gone back down this road again? I was doing so well. What's on my mind? So I had to have that deep, deep conversation, which no one really has with themselves, I find.
Yeah.
And it's like I had to dig deep and think about what was wrong. And it was just something that I couldn't control. I had no control over it. So I was thinking, if I can't control it, why am I letting it stress me out? And why am I letting it worry me? Why am I letting it take over my weekend, my glorious sunshine weekend? I'm moping around like an idiot. So I had to then backtrack and just do all the stuff I used to listen to music, like calming music, pray, have conversations with God, read the Bible a bit more. So I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to have that moment with God to start my day.
Yeah.
And then just so I don't have to have that moment with God. I don't have to read the Bible. I don't have to pray. But as long as I meditate, as long as I have that moment to ground myself, to start my day, remove any negative thoughts from my mind, just keep it positive, keep it simple, keep it kind. So that's where self-love, self-worth, self-care comes from.
I love everything you just said.
Thank you.
It's so important that you start with yourself first. Most people wake up and then they're like phone, other people, other things, just like they just begin racing the day. Okay. And that's normal, I guess. But without that moment of like stillness, of quietness, of love, of care for yourself, it's very difficult to care for other people. Or what ends up happening is you care for everyone else except for you. And then you get to a position where you're like, I don't know why I don't feel good, and it's just because you've put yourself to the bottom of the pile, and often you won't get to yourself, so you'll just race through life doing things on automatic and starting the day. I don't wake up that early or read anything in the morning, but like I do try to not grab my phone first thing, and just have a moment where I'm just thinking about what I'm doing and being very careful not to take on other people's negative energy. They say it is one negative thought. To cancel that out, you need to have 8 positive thoughts, which is a lot, which just goes to show just one thought can derail you so much. So it's almost like you have to continually keep those positive affirmations going so that those negative things don't try to eat away at your mind. It's very hard. I have to commend you. The way you talk about it.
It is hard. my counselor or my therapist said to me last year that it sounds like you have to be your own personal cheerleader. Go
Yeah.
Mel! And
Yeah.
it's like, I
Mel.
don't have, and then that's really tough. And she goes, you seem so positive, or you're trying to stay positive.
Yeah.
And she said, that's like being your own personal cheerleader. So you will be drained.
Yeah.
You will be exhausted by the end of the day. And then I said, I am tired. But I have to do it to stay positive for me and my daughter.
Yes.
I do all I do for my daughter. It's just me and her.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad's not in the picture anymore. So it's just that I have to be both parents.
Yes.
And I have to be so positive. So, because, you know, sometimes the stereotype of a man leaving the family or vice versa. So with me, I left him because he wasn't supportive of my anxiety and depression.
Right.
And he made us homeless in the end. So, so yeah, I had to be like my daughter's guidance and support network, because it was only me and her.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to stay positive, because then if I was negative about her dad, she would have a negative outcome with him.
Yes.
You know. So I've always said to her, Daddy still loves you, even though he doesn't. Even though we don't hear from you don't hear from him, we don't see him. Daddy still loves you. I'm here for you. You've got good people around you. I've encouraged her to say her affirmations. I've encouraged her to pray. I've encouraged her to sing, because she can sing. She's a 5-year-old who can sing, and she sings in tune.
Wow.
I need to do some form of program, like a dance thing with her.
Yes.
So or perform an arts thing.
Yes.
So I said to her, like, you can sing, you can dance, you can do maths, you can do anything you want to be to achieve greatness.
Yes.
So I keep instilling that in her, to sing, dance, and she's now even gone onto YouTube herself and found music that's quite uplifting for her.
Wow. Amazing.
And she meditates. We pray together. We meditate together. She does yoga. I don't do yoga, but she does yoga. And so she's just very positive. She's a lovely little girl, and I'm just so proud that I've done that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You've achieved so much. Do you realize how much you're achieving?
No.
Well, look, I can tell you, but you know, your child is 5. Like, I can't believe she's doing that at 5. That's incredible. And these little beings, they soak up everything. So the fact that she is so positive and so, you know, you can be anything you want to be. You can be great. She sees mummy saying, this situation isn't right. I'm going to change the environment. I'm going to make it better for us. We're a team. You know, then you start your business, and even though it's lockdown, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go to my neighbors. I'm going to change. I'm going to teach myself new recipes. Oh, I can't get these ingredients. Okay, I'm going to make something. It's like you never stop. You never sort of sit and say, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I give up. You're like, okay, well, I just think of something else. Okay, my medication is finished, so I'm going to think of something else. I'm going to take a different route. And, you know, we have to commend each other. So in this moment, I'm going to commend you, and I'm going to say, well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When I see I feel your energy through Instagram, and that might sound like it doesn't make sense, but it does. It's the way that you write your descriptions. It's the messages that you put out. It's the way you interact with people. And that energy is contagious. So you're helping someone else have a great day.
I do get a lot of messages from people saying that I'm so inspiring, I'm so brave, I'm so courageous, and it's just me being me. I want to get my truth out. So if I can get out there and help someone else with my experiences, that's made my day. That made me smile, and I'm thinking, cool, I'm actually impacting someone, and I don't think I am. It's like I've got a blog page, and every time I don't really go, I need to write. I am writing another blog. I just haven't finished it. There's so much going on, but I do explain why there's been such a long gap since this one and my last one. But I do go on there and I check. There's like 80 odd views, or there's 70 odd views, and there's like people are reading it, but there's no comments. Please leave a comment.
I know.
I would love to hear from you.
I know people are a bit scared, aren't they? I have the same thing. I get people like, you can see they're landing, they're browsing, but they're not saying anything. Yeah.
no, there's nothing. And it's like, am I that bad?
No,
Am I
I
right?
don't know what it is. I think people just, you know, we're all just like racing. I feel like we're all racing and we're like, okay, I read it, I consumed it, it's in my mind, I'm not going to say anything. But we need to encourage people to write comments. If you send me the link, I will write a comment.
Oh, thank you. And I'll do the same for you.
Thank you. Because, you know, like liking is great, but we need like, sometimes we need feedback. It's not that we're sitting
Yeah,
relying on your feedback, but it makes us feel like we're on the right path, especially when we're putting
yeah.
out publicly, you know. Good
Because
point.
my blogs, I've got baking recipes. So over the lockdown, I was thinking, I was gaining quite a lot of American fan base. So I was thinking, how can I reach out to these people? Because I can't send them any of my cakes, much less I
Yeah.
can't bake because there's no flour.
Yeah.
So I said, I was thinking, why don't I post some of my easier recipes?
Yes.
So I haven't just done cakes. I've done like saltfish fritters because I'm Jamaican. Well, my background's
Love that.
Jamaica.
Oh.
So I've got saltfish fritters on
Yeah.
there. I have a simple sponge cake. I have my vegan I say vegan, but they're not vegan. They're gluten free. They're gluten free brownies. They're coconut, beetroot, and chocolate brownie.
Is there dairy? Why is it not vegan?
Because it's got eggs in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the substitute for eggs? Pureed apple. Apparently you
Yeah.
can substitute for eggs.
Oh, okay. That's good to know because I was using. So in my vegan ginger cake, it's oil and water, I think.
Just oil and
I think,
water?
yeah, that's the substitute for the egg.
I don't know, or because I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't drink any dairy. I don't have any dairy.
Oh,
So
okay.
I do a lot of baking. I'm not an excellent baker by any stretch. I just have a go. Sometimes there's a vegan recipe, and I just remember they're like chop up the apple really small. So I have to substitute stuff, and that's one of them. Try it, see how
Oh,
it goes.
I will do. Yeah, that's it. Thank you
Yeah.
for that because I was looking for a vegan and a gluten-free recipe, but there was what was one of them? I think it was a chocolate brownie, and they've used cashew nuts or
Oh, that
something.
sounds amazing. I bet
Yeah,
that's
they
really
use
good.
cashew nuts and
Yeah.
avocado and all sorts of stuff. And I
Oh
thought,
yeah,
okay,
avocado.
I might try that. Yeah,
Yeah. Avocado's supposed to be
alternative.
good too, and apparently you can't taste it. Like you
No, you
don't
can't
taste the
taste it.
avocado. I
No,
haven't
it's
tried
like
it.
the beetroot. You don't taste the beetroot in the brownie. It's just really, really moist.
Oh,
It's
I never tried
extremely
that.
moist and it's nice. Yeah.
If you can if you give me a link for your recipes, I'll put it in the description, and then I'll start
Okay.
trying, because I'm doing this thing which
Yeah.
is like Ace recommends, and then if I get, like, for instance, I've been buying some black owned products and I've been testing them out and seeing what they're like. So if you give me a recipe, I'll try it and I'll take some photos and stuff and put them up. So it's like,
Yay.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't get dark chocolate chips, so I ended up using just finely chopped dark chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yum.
what I used. But it was fine all the same. My other customer, what I made the brownies for last weekend, she said that was really yummy.
And so what made you get into baking? I mean, I know that it was part of your sort of recovery, but do you love baking anyway? Is it a passion of yours?
I'm a foodie. I come from a family who love food. That's so me and my mum, when I was probably my daughter's age, or not a bit younger, we had our own pretend cooking show.
Love
I
it.
think it was called Mummy and Millie's cooking or baking show.
By the
And
way, you should do that. You should
with
redo
my
it.
daughter.
Yeah.
That's if I can get her in the kitchen for long enough. I do
Oh.
try.
Oh.
She does like baking now, where she didn't like it before. But she helped me make the almond cake and the banana cake.
Yeah.
But I'm just weaning her into the kitchen. I'm
Slowly.
just doing slowly because she can't do it for too long. She gets distracted.
Oh yeah, she's
And
5. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, my
yeah,
son is. Yeah, he was helping me stirring something, and then he just left, and I was like, "Are you? Are we finished?" Then he didn't come back either.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This Lily will like once the cake's in the oven, that's it. She's gone. So I said, "What about taking the cake out the oven? What about doing the prick test, see if it's cooked?" None of that. No.
Oh, she's
She's
very.
like, "That's what you do." So and she doesn't really eat my cakes either. No matter how much I
Oh,
try, she only likes when I make her strawberry cake, which is her birthday cake. She's got a thing about strawberries, and that's her favorite fruit. So I made her a strawberry cake. I think it was a strawberry shortcake I made, and that's all she will eat. So my family, my mum, her sister, my aunties, my cousins, both sides of the family, my mum and my dad's side.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I am close, or was closer to my mum's side of the family. So I watched all the females. There's lots of females in the family, and we all can cook and or bake. So me and my mum, I watched my mum and my grandma cook and bake constantly when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And like Lily, I was more into eating than baking or making anything. So, but as I've got older, I think when I moved out in 2008, I started to bake my own, and then I would, if I had people coming round, I would have like a little sponge cake, or I make like cupcakes, or make something, and then it'd be like, right, okay, and then everyone tell me that I should start my own business, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna start my own business. I want to be, and at that time I was was working towards becoming a recovery worker. I had my what was it, QCF diploma in health and social care. I did that in level 3. So I was ready to go. I just couldn't find the job. I needed experience, so I was volunteering, and I was volunteering. Then I had got my part-time position. Then I was looking for a full-time position, and then things changed. Then I had Lily. So yeah, lots of, so that's where I was aiming to go. And then everyone was, oh no, but Mel, you can really bake it. At least do this on the side. And I'm like, nah, it's not for me.
Oh, really?
It wasn't for me, because I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people with their drug and alcohol problem.
Yeah.
So I said, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
But then when my job changed in 2018, we was all two-peed over to a new charity organization, and it just didn't work out. I mean, it was run by the NHS with another substance misuse organization, and it was unorganized, it was chaotic, it was shambolic in places, the computers didn't work, the phones didn't work, we didn't have this, and they said, you want us to run a service? So everyone was stressed, everyone was anxious, and then I got the brunt of it as administrator, because I had to oversee the management, oversee the staff, and then the clients and the service users and everyone else coming into the building. But I couldn't run the service because we had nothing at some times, and then my role became very stressful. So it was just, and I was only there for 2 days, and my 2 days worth of work was like a whole week's worth. Wow. And then I was constantly carrying over work, and that wasn't going to be fair. So that's when I decided, you know what, I think I want to work for myself.
Yes.
And you know, when God puts as I call it, the mustard seed, God always plants a mustard seed in our minds, and it's up to us if we want it to grow or we don't listen. And I listened. For some reason this time, I listened. I don't always listen, but I listened. And by me stepping out of my comfort zone, I've never looked back, and I will never look back. And it's just something I'm taking each day I'm taking each day as it comes, and I'm going with the flow. I mean, I've never done anything business school or college, or I never done anything like business management or business I never did any of that. I only know how to bake.
That's the main bit. That's the main bit.
Yeah. I only know how to bake.
Yeah. You said
So,
something really important there, and there's a saying, it's like there's nothing to fear except for fear itself. It's something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because once you take that leap into the change, right, which for you was for baking, you'll be like, what, why did I never do this? I will never look back. Like, this
Mm,
is making me feel amazing, and that's it. It's almost like that
yeah,
we're stopping ourselves because it's the unknown, but the unknown is actually amazing. You just need to
yeah.
leap into it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, this time last year, I hadn't started. I was working towards it, but I
yeah,
was so unwell, the medication, and then my doctor upped my medication, and then he gave me heart medication because I was having severe heart palpitations, and that just made me feel so much worse.
wow,
And then other stuff was happening, and I was dealing with all this life nonsense, and all this other drama was going on. And then in the middle of it, I had to look after Lily, my daughter. I had to then
yeah,
try and look after myself, and
yeah.
it was just too much was going on. And then I took myself away from all that, and I threw myself in the deep end, and I went to Chicago.
Oh
I
wow,
needed to get away. Exactly. I needed to get away, and there was just so much, you just needed a bit of me time. And I said to myself,
absolutely,
well, I know Lily will be fine.
yeah,
Mum and Dad will take her to school. It's only going to be
yeah.
for a couple of days. And by me doing that, and by the time I come back, I was ready. I knew what I had to do. I was ready for the work. I was ready to get to work. I was so on it.
What happened that took you from sort of the anxiety, stressful situation in those couple of days to I'm ready? What changed over those couple of days for you?
Okay, so before I left, I had an anxiety attack,
Okay.
and I was like, I need to change. Something needs to
Mm-hmm.
change.
Yeah.
I need to, because nothing's working. I need to change. So I then decided to go somewhere, and I wasn't sure where I was going, but then I decided on Chicago. Booked
Okay.
to go to Chicago, and while I was out there, I just meditated. I had lots of time to meditate, talk to God, talk to myself.
Yeah.
I took my notepad.
Yes.
I had my phone, I had my tablet, but I don't like to type. My thoughts are my thoughts, and they need to be written down.
They do.
Everything. So I'm old school, pen and paper. I
Yeah.
have to write it down. So I took my notepad. I was writing notes and just saying how I want my business to look like. And even now, it's like it's because it's growing. It's always changing.
Yes.
So for me, it's like I'm growing with my business.
Yeah.
And the more I grow and the more I do things, the more I'm stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for me because I've always stayed in or within my
Yeah.
comfort zone. I've never really looked for another job that wasn't within what I could do. It was always admin. I've always stuck to admin.
Where's that thought come from? That thought of I've never thought that I could do more, and what made you stay in that box? Because that's always really interesting to hear.
Yeah, I think because I was always just wanted to be comfortable. I thought it's just
Yeah.
easy. It's just
Yeah.
easier to stick to what you know. And then when I was volunteering as an administrator, and then I became a part-time administrator, and then at the same time I was a project worker, volunteering as a project worker, and I was meeting all these different people and all these different people that just seemed normal, but they had the substance misuse problem
Right.
or issue. And then I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind becoming doing something in a group with people
Yeah.
or working with people, like becoming like a worker or a project worker where I could do drug testing and working in a
Mm.
group, or because I was literally running the show as a volunteer. I was doing drug testing. And again, that's how I come out my comfort zone because
Yeah.
it's the same. And I thought, I don't want to do admin anymore. I want to help people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to inspire people to come off the drugs.
Yeah.
And it's like normal. People are just average people. They're just normal,
Yeah.
but everyone's the same. Just that we might look a bit different.
I think the funny thing is we can look at each other and not know that there's anything wrong, or not that it's wrong, but there's any issues, right? Because when we put up a facade outwardly that says I'm fine, when people say how are you doing, the general thing is I'm fine, whether you're fine or
Yeah.
not, right? And then the other thing is like everyone has these struggles going on and they have to deal with them in some way. Sometimes it's starting a baking company, sometimes it's taking lots of drugs to make you forget, but essentially we're all the same. And I think sometimes we forget about that. We kind of look
Yeah.
at people and almost think they're better than us or we're better than them, but in reality
Yeah.
we all have things that we're dealing with, and it's just kind of how we deal with it. So totally understand that they could just look like a normal person. I remember meeting someone once, I'm not going to go into any detail because I can't, but I found out he was drinking before work. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I would have never, ever known. And he was like in a senior position. I don't really know the reason. I guess he had a stressful life or whatever, but you would never know because they just say they're
Wow.
fine.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's amazing. But people are, it's for me, it's like when I was a project worker, and it's like, wow, you're just, and in my mind I think that you've been through so much.
Yeah.
And no wonder why you've had to find a crutch or something, because
Yeah.
you don't know how to manage.
Yeah.
No one's actually been there for you to support you. And when I come along now and I'm supporting them, it's like most of them, they've changed, or they're just so grateful for the help.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, you've actually helping me. And they say, well, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I remember one guy, he was so grateful for the little bit of help I gave him.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I only printed out a document for him, or made a copy of it. And he's like, oh my gosh, you don't know how much this means. I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you want anything else printed, let me know.
I bought a whole pack of paper if you need anything.
Yeah. I even helped one guy with his CV, and I wasn't supposed to. But that's what I do. I help people, and I enjoy helping people.
Genuine help, like genuine when you actually want to help, often is met with suspicion, or it's just the best thing that's ever happened to anyone, because sometimes people don't genuinely want to help. You know, they're kind of just going through the motions. Maybe it's their job, they come in, they feel, I get that feeling from you that you definitely care.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, eventually, what I would like to do is support, and I mentioned this on my live last night, that I would love to help Black parents with their experience anxiety and depression through baking, or just like a little support group, something.
Yes.
That's what I would love to do, because I did find when I did the support group last year, June, that was the best thing I ever did, by helping. I mean, it was just the conversation. I think it was only like five parents.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing I did. And I felt like I'm not on my own.
No.
I'm not the only one going through having a child and depression and anxiety. I'm not on my own.
No.
And it was like, wow. Amazing.
Someone mentioned on the last podcast that one of the favorite parts of a magazine they were talking about was the baking bit, because it's the time when they get to spend time with their child together. It's a moment to come together and make something over a short period of time, where you can see the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? The end result. So you feel like you've accomplished something. So I feel like that is a brilliant idea. And instead of like, I mean, I don't know, because I haven't been to one of these, but, you know, sitting around just talking about your feelings, you're probably feeling a bit anxious, you don't know what to do with your hands, you know, you're having to look someone in the eye and tell them how you're feeling. If you're baking and it's kind of like a distraction, you could be talking while you're baking, you could be talking about your feelings while you're baking, or you could just be baking. But it's such a nice idea. I think it will really take off. You should definitely, you know, if you want to do it, definitely go for it.
That's something I'd like to do, and then have my cookbook.
Yes.
Yeah, someone said to me that I should have an e-cookbook, but I said one thing at a time. I'm working. Let me just get my aprons and my t-shirts sorted out first.
Slow down.
Yeah. And
Well,
I'm
you've
gonna
already
be here for
started
a
because you're
while.
writing your recipes, right? So you're
Yeah,
already like
yeah,
on the way. It's just,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was
Eventually,
good.
I would like to have cups and mugs and things, but that's just, yeah,
This, do you know what's great about you? Sometimes when you say to someone, what's your goals for the year or your goals for the next year, sometimes people have to think about it, but you've actually just said all of yours, which is great. You've
yeah,
actually done your long, short and long-term goals. First I'm going to start with merchandise, then I'm maybe going to get a group together and test it and see how that works. Future goals is doing a cookbook. It's like you've done your whole 1 year goal. And also, I wanted to say another thing to you, because earlier you said, I haven't really done business. I just started a business. I'm not really, sure about what I'm doing. But actually, when you were talking, you were writing out your business plan when you were in Chicago, because you were saying,
yeah,
this is what I want to do. This is what I
yeah,
want to achieve. This is how I want my business to be. And that's it. There's a barrier between diverse people and people that want to start their own business thinking they just can't do it because they don't know how to write a business plan or they don't know how to come up with a long-term plan. But really, you've got all of that. It's just a case of writing these things down, and then before you know it,
yeah,
you're ready to go. So well
yeah.
done.
Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah.
impressed. I'm so impressed.
Thank you, Nadine.
I wanted to ask you, so I've got a couple of questions I wanted to talk to you about. What 3 pieces of advice would you give to someone starting a business?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Never look back and keep moving forward.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. And because of the things that we talked about today, what 3 pieces of advice would you give to someone that is but have gone through similar issues to you have, is a parent with a child having anxiety and maybe depression? What would you say to them if they were watching this and they were wondering how they can move forward? 3 pieces.
I would say to them, look after yourself, make sure you look after yourself and take care for yourself and have conversations with yourself.
Yes.
How do you want to be? How are you? How are you feeling? Just have that internal conversation with yourself and see where you're at. Parenting wise, just you're not a bad parent. You're not on your own, and you can make it. You'll be fine. The
You can.
child can scream their head off, but just have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like I did that with Lily. Like, what's wrong? And I get down to her level, and I say to her, "What's wrong? Or why did you do that?
Yeah.
What possessed you to do that?"
Oh, hang on.
Just be gentle with yourself and be gentle with your child.
Yes.
And also, there isn't anything wrong in the parenting. There isn't any mistakes. Just be mindful. There isn't any mistakes. If you feel like you're going backwards, I mean, most of the time I felt like I was going backwards. I had Lily in the bed with me and sleeping, or I felt like I was like pushing her, like that she's babying her too much.
Right.
But you're never wrong as a parent. Do whatever feels comfortable for the moment, and then see. Okay, with Lily going to bed was a nightmare, so I had to explain everything to her.
Yeah.
So I said, "Mummy's gonna have her tea, then she's going to bed." I had to tell Lily what I was doing, like she's my mum.
Yeah.
you know. So
Excuse me, can I just say, I say that to my son. So when he won't go to sleep and I have to get out the room because they ain't going to sleep until you either leave or sleep with them. So I
yeah,
go, I'm going
yeah,
to have a cup of tea. I'm not.
yeah,
I just leave the room and
yeah,
do whatever I'm doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then he'll go to sleep. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's just, and then as well, you have to love yourself. Say kind things to yourself. Be
Yes.
kind, love yourself, and then if you don't do that, you can't love anyone else, and you definitely can't love your child.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to be your own foundation. You have to be your own foundation, and then you can know your child up.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, I mean, it is difficult. I'm not saying anything what I've been through being smooth sailing or easy.
Yes.
I've managed to get through this.
Yes.
with my faith and my hope, and love in my heart.
Oh yes, love in your heart. I really, really like be gentle to yourself. We
Yeah.
spend a lot of time giving advice to other people, and we're tactful and we're careful the way we give that advice, and we're loving and caring, but we often don't do it to ourselves. We're very hard
No,
on
we
ourselves,
don't.
very critical, very hard, and then
Mm.
we'll either like have an outburst and then feel really guilty. It's like really like spiky and
Yes.
feeling, and we
Yeah.
have to be soft and gentle to ourselves. No one will treat you like you treat you, so you gotta love yourself really well.
Yeah.
I'm Jamaican too.
Oh.
It's Jamaican Independence Day
Yeah,
today.
it is. Yeah.
Happy Independence Day. I don't know if
Happy
we say that to
Independence
each other.
Day. Yeah.
I really love, because like it's so weird. I I didn't grow up in London. I didn't grow up around lots of Jamaican people, but it's weird. Ever since I started doing ACE, all these Jamaican and Caribbean people are just coming, just like gravitating, and it's
It's
so
gravitating to you.
nice.
That's amazing.
When you're like selfish fritters, I was like, oh my god, like, I could literally eat one right now.
I could make you some.
Oh, don't tempt me. Every time I see someone that makes food, they're always like so far away, and then I can't get it. It just makes me sad. So I'm gonna say thank you so much for coming on. You have been
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for having me.
you've been an amazing guest. The amount of information you've given us about how to get over adversity, how to just go for it, how to treat yourself with kindness, how to be living in your truth, and how to not be afraid to take time out to be on your own, and just to fix yourself or give yourself a break. Like, these are really important. I hope that everyone listens to what Melissa has said. If your journey is similar to her journey, look how far she's coming. She doesn't even know what she's doing. She's just doing it. She's doing it really good as
Understood.
well. You know what I mean? It's like, you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, business plan and long-term plan and short-term plan. Another idea and another idea. It's like, it's so cool. So thank you so much. Let's get you on again in like 6 months and see what's happening with you.
Yeah, well, I would love to. That'd be amazing, Nadine.
So all of Melissa's Instagram links are below. Tell everyone where to find you on Instagram.
So I'm on Instagram. I'm Mell's Dessert. MELLS_desserts. I'm on Pinterest, Facebook. If you just type in Mell's Desserts, you should find my
What comes
logo.
up?
It's a pink logo. It should be a pink logo with my honey and almond cake on Facebook. I'm on Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and also my blog page. If you're not sure, it's also on my bio on Instagram. It should
I
be
will
there.
put everything below, so they can find you and follow you, subscribe. Just a word of warning, if you're going to do that, make sure you eat first. You're going to be really, really hungry after you go on her page. Just get some cake from the shop. It won't be the same, but at least you won't like be drooling. So do that. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and comment below.
Please comment below, please. I need comments.
It? What did you like about it?
And especially on my blog page. I just need some feedback. That's all.
We'll put it in the description, so make sure you go and read it. But yeah, thank you for coming. This has been another edition of Boss in Business with Melissa. Thank you for listening, subscribing, liking, and commenting, and we'll see you next week for another amazing entrepreneur. Bye for now.
Bye.